Hey friends, if you are buying your first home, there are a few mistakes that can wreck the whole deal. And the worst part is most first-time home buyers do not even realize they've made these mistakes until after closing. By then it's way too late. They overpay, they buy in the wrong neighborhood. That's a big one. They waive the wrong protections. You really need to talk to your agent about that. And they trust the wrong people. And then they spend years trying to recover from one emotional bad decision. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to buy your first home without getting burned. And stay with me because number 3 is the one that quietly destroys first-time buyers more than almost anything else. So let's start here. All right, the first way people get burned has nothing to do with the house. It starts with the payment. A lot of first-time buyers ask the wrong questions. They ask, how much house can I afford? We've talked about this before, and that sounds like a reasonable question. But that is not the real question you should be asking. The real question is, how much house can I afford without making my life harder every single month? Think about that for a second. That is a completely different number, most likely, than how much can I afford, and this is where people get into trouble. A lender may approve you for far more than you should actually be spending. That's normal. Lenders use formulas. You have to live with the bill, though, so be careful. And the bill is not just the mortgage. You got to remember that. It's the property taxes. It's the insurance. So that's PITI, property taxes, insurance, principal, and interest. And you might have mortgage insurance or HOA dues. You also have utilities, repairs, maintenance, and all the little surprises that come with owning a property. So let me say this plainly. Just because you can qualify for a certain amount doesn't mean you have to buy that amount. That is how people become house poor. And being house poor is a miserable way to live your life. You own the home on paper, but the payment controls your life. You don't want that. One repair shows up and all of a sudden you're so stressed. One income hiccup shows up and you're in trouble. That is not winning at the game of home ownership. That is a trap. So before you ever seriously shop for your home, get fully approved, not just casually pre-approved, actually pre-approved, and talk with your lender about all of these things, because a lot of first-time home buyers make another mistake right here. They assume that all lenders are basically the same. They all care for you the same way. They do not. Different lenders can give you different rates, different fees, different closing costs, and very different loan structures. So compare them all in a spreadsheet. Put them all in a spreadsheet and don't just go for the rate. Look at the payment. Look at the fees. Look at points. Look at how much cash you're going to need at close. Look at the total cost. Now, here is the next problem, and this one gets a lot of buyers. A house can look perfect and still be a terrible purchase. This is where people confuse a pretty house with a good deal. I know you're out there looking at houses on Zillow. They are not the same. A good house and a great deal may be totally different. Fresh paint does not add value. Staging does not add value. A nice kitchen is not value. Professional photos are definitely not value. Photos are marketing. Agents do photos for marketing. That's all they are. And a lot of first-time buyers fall in love with the marketing. They walk into the house and they start picturing birthday parties in the backyard, Thanksgiving in the dining room. I know you're thinking that way. Coffee on the patio. And once that starts happening, logic usually starts leaving the room. That is when buyers get dangerous because now they are not evaluating the property correctly. They are chasing a feeling, and feelings are expensive in real estate. So instead of asking, do I love this house? Ask better questions. Is it priced correctly? How does it compare to nearby sales? How long has it been on the market? What has sold and what hasn't sold yet in the area? Has the price been cut? Has there been price reductions? What is going to be done to need to repair in the next few years? Read those inspections. Is the layout actually functional for you or your family? Will this be an easy resale later is a really big one. You're going to probably move some point. You want to be able to sell it. So these are the questions that will protect you, because here is the truth. You can change paint, you can change flooring, you can update fixtures, but you cannot easily fix a bad location, and you cannot cheaply fix overpaying. Now, before I go further, let me give you one of the biggest truths in this whole process. The wrong agent can cost you a fortune. Let me repeat that. The wrong agent can cost you a fortune. A lot of buyers think any agent will do, and that is wrong thinking. A weak, inexperienced agent can absolutely get you burned. And the tricky part is bad agents do not always look like bad agents. I know this isn't going to be popular since I'm a real estate broker, but sometimes they can be nice, but they can not be responsive, or they're sometimes enthusiastic and they're completely ineffective in protecting you. A good buyer's agent should do more than just open the front door for you. They should help you spot bad deals. They should explain the contract in detail, and they should know the contract in detail. They should help you understand value. They should manage the deadlines with you. They should coordinate inspections. They should protect your contingencies and explain what contingencies are. And maybe most important of all, they should stop you from making emotional decisions. That is a good real estate agent's job. Not just getting you into escrow, but protecting you. If you're an agent, if your agent acts like every house is amazing, that could be a red flag. If they never point out problems, that's definitely a red flag. If they seem focused on getting you into contract more than helping you make a smart decision, that's a red flag. You do not need a cheerleader. Do not hire a cheerleader. You need judgment. You need experience. Now, let's talk about one of the dumbest ways buyers get burned: skipping inspections. Don't let your agent talk you into doing that. This is where people take a huge risk and try to act like it's a big strategy. It's not a strategy. You are gambling. Let me repeat, you are gambling. In a competitive market, some buyers waive inspections to make their offer stronger. That does happen. It is still dangerous because once you close, the house becomes your problem and not the seller's problem. So, looking at the inspections is one of the few chances you have to find out what you're really buying. So, inspections will not catch everything. Just know that. But it can uncover probably 90% of everything, which means roof issues, electrical problems, plumbing issues, plumbing leaks, foundation concerns, those are very expensive, drainage problems, HVAC issues, water damage, mold, failing systems, and sometimes it is not one giant disaster. It's 5 little expensive problems that stack up over time, going back to the cost of owning your house. So that is how a good deal quietly becomes a financial headache. So do the inspections, read the inspections, understand the inspections. And on some homes, you have to do more than just inspections. There's sewer lines, there are septic systems, there's roof, there's pests, there's HVAC, foundation. And especially in older homes, you have lead paint issues. So, these are all things that I've mentioned in the past. And this one quietly destroys people because it's not understand, and that's the contingencies. These are the inspection contingencies. These are the transactions where buyers lose protection without realizing it. A contingency is there to protect you. You have home contingencies, you have appraisal contingencies, loan contingencies, insurance contingencies. Every state is a little different, but those contingencies are there to protect you. So don't remove them unless you're satisfied and fully locked in. Usually that means things like the inspection, the appraisal, and the financing, as I mentioned, are all satisfied and you're happy with them before you remove them. These are a safety net for you. So don't remove them without really understanding why you're removing them. And don't ever remove them too fast if you can help it. Don't get pressured. Sometimes people don't want to lose the house, so they want to remove the contingencies. Sometimes because they want to look serious, in the end, all they do is look foolish. So you don't want to remove the contingencies just because you're excited. You want to remove the contingencies because it's a strategy and you're comfortable with the facts. You understand the property. You understand the loan. You understand the appraisal value. You understand that you can get insurance. Once you're comfortable, then you can mitigate the risk and then you can protect yourself. All right? Because once these protections are gone, your leverage drops away fast as well. And that's when people get stuck. So now let's talk about something buyers ignore all the time: the neighborhood. Location, location, location is one of the biggest things about property. This is a blind spot for people, though. People spend hours looking at the kitchen, the floors, the bathrooms, the paint color, and the backyard, and they forget about the surrounding areas. They forget about commute times. They forget about schools. That's backwards. You can improve your house. You can't improve your neighborhood, or at least not quickly. So study the area around the house because it matters. Drive it during the day, drive it during commute time, drive it during nighttime, drive it on the weekends. Look at the surrounding streets. Are there restaurants and amenities nearby? Pay attention to the traffic patterns. A big one, pay attention to noise. Noise on the weekend versus noise during the week. Parking on the weekend versus during the week. Neighborhood properties, commercial buildings nearby. Are there train tracks, freeways, school traffic? Pride of ownership around your neighborhood, overall upkeep in your neighborhood, and ask the question that first-time home buyers don't ask enough. Will this location help me resale later, or will it hurt me later? That matters, because a lot of people say, this is my forever home. Maybe, maybe not. And if it's not, and your life changes, you want to be a smart buyer who can resell the property. Even if it's your first purchase, you're probably going to resell the property. All right, now let me hit you with a few fast mistakes that burn first-time home buyers over and over again. Buying at the very top of their budget. Do the math, people. Don't do it. Don't fall in love too fast. Don't trust the listing photos. Don't ignore the total monthly costs. Read the disclosures. Don't skip neighborhood research. Don't use the wrong lender. Don't use the wrong agent. Don't underestimate repairs you're going to need to make. And don't buy under pressure. That last one matters more than people think. Pressure makes buyers do stupid things. Fear of missing out, fear of the rate rising, fear of prices going up, fear that this is the only house that really meets your standards. There's another one around the corner, I promise you. That kind of fear causes bad decisions. Real estate is too expensive for panic buying. So, now let me make this even more practical. Here's what you need to do to avoid, or here's what you need to avoid at all costs. Do not buy because the house looks good online. I know you're laying in bed watching, or looking at houses on Zillow. Don't assume the seller has told you everything about the house. And do not trust verbal promises. If it's not in writing, do not count on it. Do not stretch your budget so thin that one repair knocks you sideways. You want to be able to live comfortably in your house. Again, don't skip those inspections. Do not remove contingencies too early just to keep the deal alive unless it's a strategy. Do not ignore the neighborhood, and do not say, I will probably be okay, because probably is where bad deals live. So, if you want to do it smart, do it slowly, act simply, not easy, because simple will get you in trouble. Easy will get you in trouble. So know your budget before you shop. Get pre-approved. Choose a strong lender. Choose a strong agent. Study the value. Study not just the appearance. Study the neighborhood. Inspect the home carefully. Read the disclosures. Protect your contingencies. Okay? And don't let emotion run the deal. That is how you buy smart. Because the goal is not just to become a homeowner. The goal is to become a homeowner without overpaying and without buying a problem property and without turning your first purchase into a long-term regret. And you don't want to become house poor. That's where you really win when you buy a house. And remember this. In real estate, the bad deal you avoid is often just as valuable as the deal you close. So if you think this video helped you guys, comment below with the biggest first-time homebuyer question you might have. And if you could, subscribe, like, comment, share, and I hope this helps you avoid expensive mistakes and you make smart decisions. That's what I'm here for. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope this video was helpful. And I really, really want you to buy that first house and not have regret. All right? I'll talk to y'all later. It's been fun. Good luck out there. And remember, do the math. The math will help. All right? Talk to y'all later.